welcome back to my channel. It's Kaitlin. Today I'm going to be posting a ghost story. Boo. On my channel. It's a little bit different than my other videos here, but I have a TikTok, which if you want to go check that out, it's Heyitskaitlinann. I will post it in my description of the video. But my followers on there have been commenting a lot about wanting me to post my ghost stories on YouTube so that they can be longer and more detailed. So I decided to try it out. And today's video is going to be about the Traverse City State Hospital or Asylum, formerly known as Northern Michigan Asylum. This hospital was opened in 1885 and it closed around 1889. This hospital is one of the most notoriously known haunted places in Michigan. I live about 2.5 hours from here, and I have actually had the honor of going and checking it out. The building is almost 1/4 of a mile long, and it is 300,000 square feet, and I think it said about like 70 feet tall. Underneath the building is a system of underground tunnels, because this is so big that it's not just one building. It's more, people describe it as like a city. It's so big, but there's like different buildings that do different things. So they built this underground tunnel so they could get to other places faster. They could avoid the weather outside, because if you know where Traverse City, Michigan is, or if you know Michigan at all, during the winters it's really rough, snowy, cold. So they built these tunnels to just get to places faster and make it more convenient. The main building used over 8 million bricks to build, and the whole process of the building way back when took a little under 3 years, and then they opened the doors in 1885 and took their first patients. When the asylum opened, it served 39 counties and all of the upper peninsula of Michigan. So there's like a lot of people. The medical superintendent who ran the hospital's name was Dr. Munson, and he had the philosophy that beauty is therapy. He believed that in order for people to heal, they didn't need medication, they didn't need restraint, they just needed beauty. So he made his hospital in a way that every patient's bedroom had a window. So even the people who couldn't go outside could still see outside and enjoy the beauty of Traverse City. And Traverse City is my favorite city to go to. I actually just got engaged there. Yeah, peep the ring. We go there every year for anniversary. It's gorgeous. And if you're not from Michigan, I highly suggest come take a trip to Michigan to Traverse City. It is beautiful. So it was in the perfect location for this theory to take place, because they got to see all of the scenery. They had a beautiful garden outside for the patients to look at. It was just basically, he wanted it to not be an unfamiliar place where they felt locked away. Going off of this theory, like I said just now, he didn't believe in restraints, so there were no straitjackets, there were no straitjackets, no holding people down, no seclusion, nothing like that. It was just supposed to be a healing center. All of the patients, instead of eating in their rooms and not being able to leave, they actually went down to a dining room when it was time to eat. The dining room had fine china, had tablecloths, had beautiful paintings and art all over the walls, inspirational sayings, just to try to lift the spirits of the patients that were living there. In 1890, they started building cottages because the facility that was already in place was too small for the demand and growing population of people who needed help. And the south cottages were for the male patients, the north cottages were for the female patients. These cottages also provided more space for people who needed to be not around other people. So it ended up being not just for the mentally insane or ill, but people who were physically ill, people who had contagious diseases. They were in these cottages so that they wouldn't spread their diseases to other people, but they also still got to get, you know, the scenery and the beauty and all of that. The hospital also provided its own steam to heat and electrify the building, which was pretty cool. And they used the underground tunnels also. They were called steam tunnels. So that's, you know, how, I don't know exactly how all of that works, but that's what they did. But not all of the patients were adults. A lot of them were actually children. And while researching, I found some pretty creepy, unsettling stuff. A lot of the children who ended up growing up, now they're obviously not children anymore, they're older, they tended to the internet and kind of wrote their stories out, which was so super cool to read. Aside from common belief that it was this peaceful, wonderful, sunshine and rainbows place, they said it was a lot different than what everybody thinks that it was. A lot of these children, I'm just gonna call them children, but they're adults, but children, so you know, in reference to the story. These children reported a lot of abuse that happened behind closed doors. A lot of them were molested. A lot of them were tortured, apparently. People, like a lot of the individuals also reported seeing nurses and staff member actually murdering the other children. Very creepy, and I just feel so terrible that they had to go through something like that. So if these stories that the individuals are posting on the internet, on these comment threads and stuff, if they're true, it would make sense as to why all of the paranormal occurrences have been happening, and why when you enter the area and the grounds, you just get a really dark sense of like feeling. I don't know. It's so hard to explain unless you're actually there. One of the most popular legends is of the hippie tree. So it is on the grounds outside of the building. Basically, everyone thinks and believes that it is a portal to hell. It's very creepy. I'll insert pictures down here. People have graffitied it, as you can see, and there's just been some weird stuff with it. I don't know. People have just claimed that they go there and they feel just super dark. Another creepy thing is people have reported that while bringing in religious items into the building, that the items have like destroyed themselves or something before entering. So like Bibles or holy water, rosaries, stuff like that. People try to bring it in, do exorcisms or whatever they try to do. Apparently the item has just like destroyed itself. I'm not sure how, they didn't really elaborate, but apparently that's one of the things that's reported, which is kind of insane. Some more occurrences that are reported are seeing ghosts, figures. They hear like laughing, they hear screaming, of like people getting tortured. They see ghostly children running up and down the hallways, unexplained lights flickering and footsteps behind them. Just all of like, I guess, your basic paranormal things that you always hear about. People also have said that they have experienced drastic weather changes. So they'll be standing there and they'll get super cold gust of wind or super hot, like air just like blasting them in the face, which is completely unexplainable. Another thing that I found while researching was that the old Asylum priest actually ended up taking his life inside of the chapel at the hospital, and people said that they've seen him still to this day haunting it. When the facility closed in 1989, they left it kind of abandoned for many years. So a lot of the old medical equipment, a lot of the hospital equipment, beds, tables, anything that you can think of that would be in a normal, asylum was just left there to just rot. And I guess like the painting on the walls was like bubbling up and peeling. They had lead in it and asbestos, and it was just a really big hot mess. So the years that it was abandoned, people would go in, take pictures, because everyone knew the legend, everyone knew what it was. So people were just curious. After being abandoned for many years, it was finally bought in the year 2000 for only $1, a whopping $1. This whole 30,000 square foot building and grounds was bought by this group who wanted to remodel it and renovate it and turn it into something that we could use in today's world, so it just wasn't sitting there empty. They spent $60 million in the renovations and remodeling. They opened it a couple years ago, but it's called the Commons now. It's no longer called Traverse City State Hospital or Northern Michigan Asylum. It's the Commons, and in the Commons you can actually live there. They've transformed it into this amazing thing. So there's apartments and condos that you can buy and live in. There's shopping, there's office spaces, there's restaurants. They're trying to just redo it, make it usable. And it's just cool because when you go and visit it, and I did go do that, and I said that earlier, but it's just full of history. They remodeled it, but like in a way that you still feel all of the history while walking down it. All of the stores are in actual like patient rooms or like little places that were there back then. So it's still like you walk down the hallways and you see like each store is in their own little, I'm just gonna call them cells because that's what they kind of remind me of, but they have like their own cell, and it's a lot of the original like bricking, or it's so hard. I'll just insert pictures because I cannot describe it, but it is so cool and so creepy. I just remember when we went there, I was just like, oh, like so pumped because I love all of this stuff, and then we were walking down and it just felt like I understand why people feel the way they do when they go there. And this is just like the remodeled area, and a lot of the remodeled places and areas aren't as like haunted anymore as the places that are still original, because there's a lot of the hospital that they still haven't touched or renovated, and it's pretty cool because you can actually take tours of those areas. Pretty cool. You can also take a tour that takes you down in the tunnels, and you can walk around in there, and there's some pictures of it. It's just so cool. I'm so interested by this stuff, and I love that it's so close to home. Like I just love it. Michigan is really a cool state, so like Go Michigan. The tours that I was talking about start at around $15, and then there's some that are $25, $35, different prices depending on what you want to go tour. But I highly suggest if you're ever in the area, you should definitely do it. I myself have not gotten a tour just because we were running out of time when we went there, but I plan to go this year, and I might even just bring my camera and vlog it and then post it on my YouTube if that's something you guys would want to see. Alright, so that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to go see my other ghost story videos, go ahead and find me on TikTok. My username is Heyitskaitlinann. Same as my Instagram if you want to go follow me on there. Thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications if you want to watch another one of my videos. And if you don't, it's fine, I won't make you. But thank you at least for watching this one. Thank you guys. Have a good day.